Hello everybody, Matt here. Thanks for tuning in. It's been a very long time. Thank you to everybody that's had the patience to wait for a follow-up video, that's subscribed to my channel. I know there's not been a lot of activity for a long time. I thought I'd do a new video to let you know kind of where I'm at, what I'm doing. And for those of you that haven't watched any of my videos before, as I said, I'm Matt, and about a year ago I did a few videos regarding Huel and how I'd introduced it to my diet. And actually, once upon a time it became my diet. And I did an experiment where I had Huel for a month, nothing but Huel pretty much. And the results were pretty astounding, quite frankly. But I wanted to talk about, obviously, the fact that I'm back on the wagon, I think is the right expression, although that usually relates to alcohol. This is nothing to do with alcohol, although I think I could do with a beer right now. This is just about me effectively feeling a little bit tubby, a little bit lethargic, a little bit just not good. I've started a new job, and I feel like I need a bit of a boost, a bit of a pick-me-up. Also, my cough, for those of you that don't know, I've got GERD, or acid reflux, esophageal reflux disorder. I can never say that second word properly, but it's this constant clearing of my throat, and I'm fairly certain it's down to my diet. So interestingly, when about a year ago, when I went on Huel for a month, the cough subsided. Didn't go away completely, but it subsided significantly. And it goes through phases where it's really bad, and it's mentally it's quite draining. I feel just tired from coughing all the time, and I wanted to try and do something about it. Now, interestingly, in I think the last video that I did, I think I talked about, because I've not watched them back for a while, but I think I talked about the benefits and particularly the weight loss. But I also mentioned about the improvement to my cough, which has been really good. Or it was really good back then, and like I say, I want to try and do something about it now. Now, the real problem is, and I spoke to a few, sorry, I'm disappearing, I'm scratching my foot here, so it's not like I'm trying to hide from everybody. But a few people of mine, a friend of mine who's actually a GP, he kind of said to me, well, you should be careful going on Huel, because I'd said to him, look, I don't mind maybe 1 month out of 12 going just on Huel, because the last time I did it, I lost 2 stone in a month. And I had some comments on one of the videos saying, oh, it's not possible, or, how is that possible? And kind of alluding to the fact that maybe I was lying. I mean, for the record, I'm not lying. Well, I'm not lying, that's for sure. And I'm not trying to deceive anyone or pretend that, something's fantastic just so I can get more views on YouTube. I'm not making any money from this. This is purely kind of a bit of an experiment. I think I've said before I wanted to try and work on video editing. I bought a load of camera gear and all that stuff. None of that's set up at the moment. This is just shooting on my phone, and I won't do any editing, so you'll get all the bloopers, warts and all that stuff. Where was I? I was waffling a little bit. Yeah, so my friend who's a GP turned around and said, oh, you don't want to yo-yo with your diet because that's bad for you. And I thought, well, I mean, I don't know if it is. I mean, I think you can read certain bits of information that might suggest that's bad for you, but there's fasting, and fasting's supposed to be really good for you. I've heard, a lot of positive things saying that if you fast, you're more likely to live longer. And again, look, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, so this is all just experiments and information that I've read and seen and blah, blah, blah. But there seem to be some benefits. So I don't know, I'm not convinced that, having your weight go up and down a lot is dangerous. I think being overweight is dangerous. We all know that. If you've got too much body fat, you know, you're at greater risk of diabetes, you're at greater risk of heart disease, you're at greater risk of, I don't know, a number of things that don't end well for people. So having 1 month out of 12 where you know, it's a bit like going on, you know, I don't know what they're called now, dry January, I think it's called, where people give up or abstain from drinking alcohol. It's a bit like the old-fashioned traditional way of giving up something for Lent. Giving up sugar is a popular one. You know, all of those things generally are pretty good. So I feel that going on something like Huel, a meal replacement, where, let's be honest, I'm not starving myself. I'm having far fewer calories, granted, but well within the realms of safety. You know, I think you tend to know when you're overdoing it, whether it's, I don't know, weightlifting, running, drinking, smoking, partying, whatever. Your body tends to tell you. And I think I said in the last few videos, like when I was on Huel, I felt fabulous. I felt really good. And I had some comments saying, you know, your skin looks really good, and you know, you look healthy, and your eyes are shining, or something like that. And that's kind of what happens. I think when you cut out all the rubbish, sugar, wheat, I mean, unfortunately, a lot of it's the good stuff, beer, you know, chocolate, then obviously your body's not designed to absorb all of that stuff. It's, you know, modern man, or humans, without wanting to sound sexist, modern humans, you know, we haven't evolved enough to eat a lot of the things that we eat. And I do think it has a significant impact on how we feel, whether we're lethargic, you know, energized, whether your brain's working properly, whether you feel happy, quite frankly, because you have, you know, a bar of chocolate and it feels, you know, it tastes really nice at the time, but you have the spike of, you know, insulin that hits you, and yeah, you feel great, and then you have the after effect of that, the crash. And that's no different with eating any food that metabolizes into sugars. Obviously, if it's refined, it gets into your bloodstream much more quickly, and, you know, it's, well, again, based on what I've read, it's worse for you, and we kind of all know that. So anyway, I'm rambling, but the point is, I'm back in the saddle, as they say, and since Monday, feels like I'm 6 weeks into it, but I've only been into it like for a few days, and this is what happened last time. Since Monday, I've been on pretty much only Huel. However, this time with a few differences. So this is one of them. I think everything's possibly backwards in the video. Again, I need to figure out how to avoid that, but you can read that, I'm sure, and if you can't, then it says Huel. And this is a Mexican chili, and it's basically just, you know, dried beans. What's in there? So there's, I haven't got my glasses on, but it's got beans and pulses. It's gluten-free, which is good for me, particularly because of this GERD. And it's not bad, if I'm honest. So a portion is approximately 400, a portion is 400 calories, which is about the same as a shake. You know, 3 scoops in the old measuring, 2 scoops in the new measuring of the shakes. And also, I don't have any wrappers, but I also had some of the Huel bars, which the jury's still out on, to be honest. They're not the kind of thing that you would reach for as a treat, unless you were, you know, absolutely, you had no alternative. And I suppose that's the point here, is if you're on, sorry, I'm scratching my foot again. If you're on Huel only, then you don't get a lot of joy. I think that's a big point, actually. You don't get a lot of joy in eating these meal replacements because they're not fun. It's not like having, I don't know, an ice cream. It's not like having a bucket of popcorn or a big fat juicy steak or I don't know, a cheeseburger or whatever it is, but whatever floats your boat. They're all a bit dull, particularly the shakes, because it's like drinking, I keep saying shakes, it makes me sound like I've got kind of, I don't know, withdrawal symptoms. Maybe that's the thing. But the replacement shakes, they're just a bit, because they're cold and they're a little bit gloopy. The new recipe, I don't really notice any difference between that and the old recipe, apart from the fact that it's more expensive. but I suppose they've got to increase the prices somehow without making you feel like you've been ripped off. But where was I? Yeah, so to have this, because it's hot, boiling water, you put a couple of scoops, pour boiling water over it, let it sit for a bit, give it a stir, stick it in the microwave just to finish it off. And it's not brilliant. I mean, it tastes okay. The texture's a little bit, I don't want to say slimy, but it kind of is, because it's got, like, I'm just trying to see here. So it's got flaxseed, dried grains, brown rice, quinoa or quinoa, pea protein, dried black beans, tomato powder, dried vegetables, bell peppers, tomatoes, onions, chili, natural flavouring, rice flour, rice starch, cornstarch. There's lots of stuff. And then it starts getting into things that, micronutrient blend, whatever that is. I mean, no point putting it on the ingredients, to be honest, because nobody has a faintest idea what it is. But we all trust that what they're putting in here is pretty good for you. And back to my point earlier about how it makes people feel in terms of your well-being, I suppose there's no pain, no gain without pain. Is that right? Yeah, no pain, no gain. So for a week I've had Huel shakes during the day, cut out my usual breakfast that I've been having for however long. And sorry, I'm jumping all over the place here, but it's a while since I've done this, so apologies. Hopefully you're still with me and you haven't switched off or thrown your phones or laptops in the bin. I don't know what I'm talking about. Breakfast. So for breakfast, I was having, yogurt with, what do you call it? Granola and some nuts and stuff. Quite a lot of calories, to be fair. It was good because it had set me up for the day. But over the last couple of years with COVID, I mean, I lost all motivation to do the Huel thing. When COVID kind of happened, I stopped going to the gym. I stopped playing football because I had an injury. And as a result, I went from, I think I got down to 12.5 stone when I did the Huel thing, which is the first time I'd been on below 13 stone in a long time. And I'm at that age, I'm 44, where, you only got to look at a packet of crisps and, you go up a belt size. So I kind of, I put on 2 and a bit stone, and when I first started with Huel, I think I was like 15 and a bit stone, and I went down, like I say, to 12.5 stone or 14 something. I was around about 15 stone. Went down to 12.5 stone, and then I put it all back on again, pretty much. And here I am right now, where I started noticing that, things don't fit me anymore. I put a shirt on and I feel like I've got to put a slit down the back of it and elasticate it because nothing fits me, or I've got to replace all my wardrobe, which is expensive. So summer's on the way, and it's a good excuse to kind of, to get in shape. So I started playing football again. I've recovered from the injury, but I need to lose a bit of weight because I'm running around on a football pitch carrying too much timber. And you notice it, my knees aren't as good as they used to be, it hurts my ankles, everything hurts the next day, and so on. So for any of you watching this video and you're not even 20 yet, or if you're in your mid-20s, maybe early 30s, trust me, when you get sort of above 40, if you haven't looked after yourself, which I haven't really, things start to hurt and everything, takes longer to heal and all those things. So I want to kind of feel better, I want to get back to being comfortable in my own skin. And so I thought I'd try a different approach, which is rather than going an entire month with just Huel and, whipping myself and making sure that I don't look at any cakes in a shop window, or if I do, I've got to, punish myself for it. I thought I'd try and take a different approach, which is to do a week of Huel combined with other like a couple of, I say meals, snacks really here and there, that are maybe high in protein, really low in fat, gluten, wheat free as well, just to kind of keep me mentally sane. Because when I did it for a month before and just had Huel, it's hard. It's because it's so boring. You're just like, your brain needs to have texture, needs to have color, needs to have spice and flavor and fat and salt and acid, all of those kind of things, and it just gets a bit much really. So and you kind of you're not depressed, but it makes you feel a bit depressed, a bit down, because if you look around you, your friends are at the pub or a bar or wherever, you know, your family as well are sitting down and having dinner. And that's the other thing that's worth mentioning, is that psychologically, it doesn't just stop with you. It's okay if you live on your own, or you're on your own, you haven't got a partner, or you've got a partner that's maybe doing it with you, it's much easier. My other half rightly pointed out, said to me, well, you know, we've got a 5-year-old son, and she said to me, well, how can you tell him that he needs to eat his dinner when you're sat there drinking a meal replacement in a shake? It didn't really kind of work. So trying to have meal times with the family has become a bit harder, but with this, it makes it much easier, because I can sit and have a bowl of something hot and just, you know, Daddy has something different. That's it. So it's easier to explain. And my son, when I give him the choice between carrots and peas or this, you can guess which one he chooses. It ain't this one. So yeah, so I think the kind of, if you want to, you know, get on this sort of journey, whether it's Huel or Soylent or I don't know other brands that are available. There's a few that have been recommended to me. I've not yet tried them. Like I say, I've kind of been in, I don't want to say hibernation, but I've been kind of off the radar for a bit. But I will at some point try them. So I had this one. Yep, this is kind of, and I've seen a few others, but I had the bars. They're pretty rubbish actually, because they are, I think because they're gluten free. So like one today and one yesterday. I had a chocolate one and a salted caramel. They taste a bit like somebody's stuffed a load of sand in a sock for a couple of months and then opened it and, you know, shown a bar of chocolate to it. So they're not very chocolatey. They don't really taste like salted caramel. They just taste like, I don't know, like floury kind of, but they're okay. Again, they're 200 calories, I think, pretty much. And they kind of take a little bit of the edge off needing something to just kind of eat and chew on and nibble. And it's kind of like a bit of a psychological battle more than anything else. So that's been good. I also had one of the pre-ready-made shakes from a shop, I think. No, sorry, it came free. I ordered, a load of Huel stuff, and I got one drink free. To be honest, they're crap. I don't know if you've had them, if you've tried them, what you think of them. I only had one. It was vanilla, but it was rubbish. It tasted nothing like the vanilla you get in the pack, which I think is actually better than the ready-made one. It tasted like it was quite sweet. Maybe that was because the version of vanilla I have is unsweetened, I think. Or is that the natural? I don't know. But it was a lot sweeter. So I won't be going back to that again. What else? So today I've had one shake. I actually had a little chicken salad with some chickpeas and vinegar on it, I think it was. But again, it wasn't like a massive salad, just a little snack at lunchtime. And that was because I was out somewhere with doing something with some colleagues, and I couldn't really sort of, drink Huel in front of them. Just wasn't professional. So I picked something that was kind of reasonably very healthy, really, considering there were other things on, offer, like cakes and pastries and yum, 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 yum. So tonight I've got home, I've had a tiny bit of this because the bag is empty, and I had about half a bowl, so say 200 calories, 400 calories shake, a 200 calorie bar, so that's 800 calories, and I had a little salad which is probably about 500 calories. So it's not a lot. It's like 1400, I think if my maths is right, 1400 calories today, which is a little bit more than I would have if I had 3 shakes. So that's interesting actually, because if I have 3 shakes, I'm not really that hungry. I might feel a little bit peckish, but overall it's pretty good. So that's one thing to bear in mind. If you can stick to the shakes, you're probably going to feel reasonably full, unless of course you're, no disrespect, if you're, 20 plus stone, or I don't know what that is in kilos, lots, then of course you're probably going to need more than 3 shakes a day. But it's all, relevant. Is that the right word I'm looking for? I've had a long day today, so apologies. But it's all relative. That's the word I'm looking for. So if you're, if you're very tiny, you probably don't need as much, or I say you be the, judge of that. You'll know if you need more because you'll be feeling hungry. But the trick is, if you feel hungry, don't eat a burger, don't eat a packet of crisps or a bar of chocolate. Try and find something healthier. And I suppose what I'm alluding to is that this Huel experiment, this ongoing experiment, I think I've kind of almost found a happy place, which is that during my working day, and possibly at weekends as well, during the daytime, I think I'm going to have at least one shake a day for a long time. And that's kind of what I was doing before. And what I've got to do really is find something for dinner, whether it's more of this or just be more regimented and organised to have a dinner, not be lazy, not just phone for a takeaway. And I suppose it comes back to the psychological element, what exactly can you deal with mentally? And I think my advice is try it. Don't go crazy. Like I say, this week, funny enough, I was planning, I've taken some pictures of the scales, me weighing myself on the scales, and I've tried to do it every day to show how the weight loss goes. And it's pretty much bang on to what happened last time, which is that for every week that you're on this, and obviously as long as it's controlled, 3 shakes a day, which is about 1,200 calories, sounds like a massive drop, sounds dangerous. I feel good. I'm losing about half a stone a week. So I think I first weighed myself, I was at 91.7 kilos, and I'm down to 87, maybe even less than that today, after best part of 4 days. So I reckon by the end of the week, I will have dropped half a stone, no problem, easy peasy. The trick then is, if I go back onto eating my normal diet the week after, and the week after, and the week after, so 3 weeks, is not to put that all back on. Because if I do, that's okay, because then I'll have another week of Huel only and drop that weight again. But I'm not at my ideal weight. I'd like to be around about 12 stone. And I think from somebody my height, I'm about 6 foot, unless I've got my high heels on. And like I said, I'm 44. I'm relatively fit. I don't smoke. I drink a bit. I like a beer. You know what I mean? So I don't want to give all that stuff up. And it's trying to find that balance. So tonight I've got a tin of tuna and some beans, some like mixed beans, at the cupboard, which I'll have a bit of vinegar on, and that'll be it really. Maybe a splash of olive oil, and that'll do me. And then I'm going to see how that goes. And then obviously at the end of this week, I'll have a bit of a weigh-in. I'll also have a sort of retrospective look back at, how it's gone and how I'm feeling from a cough point of view, how healthy I feel, if it's something that I feel I can more easily fit into my diet, and I think I can. So for now, I've rambled on enough. Once again, thank you for tuning in or joining me or watching this video. It feels kind of good to be back. I've missed it, and I've struggled with trying to find the right time and space to record this. Generally, it's when my child, my little boy, he's not around because he needs my attention, and also I don't want any other interruptions as well. So tonight, my good lady, she's gone out. I'm kind of on my own looking after our son, and I've had a bit of space, so I've been able to record this. I'd love to hear what you think, whether you think about these videos, about your experiments, your trials, whether you're on Huel, whether you've got other things going on, what you think about the psychological aspect of having fuel. Yeah, don't drink fuel, please. Having Huel or a meal replacement, instead of a normal diet, or incorporating it into your diet, how it fits in with your family life. What about people at work? What do they say? Are they interested? Do they think you're a bit crazy? I'd love to hear that, and I reply. I think I reply to every comment and question that I get. I'm still trying to grow the channel. Of course, at some point I'll do some other stuff. If you've got suggestions of what I can do, please tell me. If you haven't done so, as they say, subscribe. People tell you in a lot of videos to smash the subscribe button. Don't smash it, please. Just press it gently. You can press it a little bit harder if you want to, but don't smash it. We don't need power words to subscribe. Either you like the channel or you don't. It works. I think there's a bell you can ring or something like Quasimodo if you want to get notifications about my videos. If you want to share it, you know, please pay to have it on the side of an articulated lorry, drive up and down the motorway repeatedly. That'd be good. Otherwise, I will just catch you in the next video. All right, thanks. See you, everybody. Take care.